All right, so I want to think about where my light is coming from on this particular image, and I am going to select it coming from my right side is where my sun is coming from, just something to think about. I also want to think about my cast shadows and where they're going to be. So if the light is coming from my right-hand side, it's going to shoot across these things. Some things that are going to happen is the top of this cone is going to cast a shadow onto this circle. I already know that, and I am going to just go ahead and put an angle on there because I know that that is going to fall straight over on there. I also know that this sphere is going to have a cast shadow, and I can use my ruler on my vanishing point to help guide that. Kind of come out and round it. And I want all my shadows going in the same direction. So I am just carefully drawing in my shadows right now. I also know that in here it's going to be dark. So I'm just following that curve right there. And then the last one I have is this cylinder, and that shadow's going to come straight out. Practically slightly angled. Alright, so at least I have an idea of where my shadows are. So that's done so I can see it. Now, what's going to happen next is when we start to paint a painting like this, and when we work in Tempera, it is always important to work on the background first and then move forward. Now, I usually divide my background between, with the horizon line being our background and our foreground. I'm going to be showing you a couple different techniques called modeling. You'll see the modeling technique is very present on this piece. When we do these backgrounds, we don't necessarily want to make them completely flat colors. We want to add a little bit of variety of value in them to add dimension. So the first thing we're going to do is be painting the background, and then we are going to be painting the foreground, then we will do the object. So that is the plan of the day. So I'm going to begin, and I want to find a larger brush. I want to use a round, and I want to use a flat brush. The round brush is going to help us paint around the objects, and the flat one is going to help us paint big spaces, because we would not want to paint this background with a little tiny brush. So before we begin though, we want to mix the color. And I am going to just do a light gray background. So I am going to take my palette, and I am going to grab some white paint, a significant amount, and I'm bringing it in between the white and the black. A lot of white, and then I'm going to add a tinge of black, and I'm kind of blotting it out as I go, because as you guys remember from watercolors, black is pretty infectious. So I'm going ahead and I'm mixing it up, and I'm going to get a nice gray here, and I'd rather have it to be too light than too dark. And I know some of you are still drawing, but we'll paint the background and then I'll pause and walk around. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm using a round brush to mix. I always prefer a round brush to mix rather than a flat brush. I just feel like it can gather the paint a little bit easier. All right, so I'm feeling good about this. I have a nice gray here, but guess what I'm doing? I'm going to take a little bit of this gray and a little bit more black, so I'm going to have two different grays happening here. I want two distinctly different colored grays, a light gray and a darker gray.
You want a light gray?
In the dark, I don't know if you all can see the difference there. It's like a medium gray and a light gray. Do I need to turn down the lights more so you guys can see
Oh.
it better?
Maybe, yeah.
Would that help be helpful? Yeah, you really can't tell the difference, can you? Maybe if I just did that one,
I still
I
can't
don't know,
tell.
you guys still can't see though. Is that okay?
Better.
Is that better? And if I shut off this light, close that light off. All right, so we're gonna begin. So when I start to use this big brush, before I begin, I'm gonna wet it and I'm gonna damp it in there just because I wanna make sure there's no other colors in there. Cause that is like the worst thing ever, is there random color stuck in there. Okay, and I took it on my paper towel and I did damp off the extra water, because unlike watercolors, we do not want to use too much. So I'm going to begin with broad strokes with the gray,
The light gray or dark
the
gray?
light gray. And I'm just working it across.
So do you?
And I'm just doing broad strokes right across. Doing the whole thing,
How much water?
just broad strokes with the light gray. And if I didn't make enough, I'll go back and make some more here. Now, the reason we're using this brown colored paper is because we will be doing our final on a brown, kind of heavier cardboard. So we just kind of want to see how it looks. All right, so now I've taken that color and I have the medium gray on my brush, and I'm going to work it in crisscrosses across the top of this. This is called modeling. We are modeling the sky in this now with our two different color grays. Now, I don't think you can tell very much on mine that there is two different grays happening. So I have the light gray, and then over the top is the darker gray. Now maybe I'll make a darker gray so you can see it a little bit more prevalent, more easily. I don't think you guys can see it very easily. So it's like crisscrosses. Is that better? Can you see that? Yep. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking a smaller brush and I'm blending it in, and it's going to give the painting a little bit of softness to it. So it doesn't feel so flat. So this is just a technique called modeling. And it's very painterly, and I know that the smartboard does not read it the best, but it is a lot of ways that artists use to begin paintings to lay down color. And I'm going to walk around with mine so you can see it better.
Do you want me to pause the video?
Yep,
Okay.
thank you, Gabby.